Hey guys, it's Brandon here again at VapXtream. I'm gonna try and play catch up today, because I have a crap load of stuff that I need to get out, and I've been wanting to do a bunch of reviews. It just seems like every time I sit down with any particular time, I just kind of want to sit back, relax, have a nice vape, watch some nice vape videos, and have a drink. Finally got some time off of work, which is nice. Vape layer is nowhere near to being complete. You'll have to excuse the angle of the video for today, but we're kind of doing close and personal with a lot of the devices that I'm going to be doing. As you can see, there I am. But I did get a care package in from a Chinese manufacturer, and I'm kind of doing this review for two reasons. One, for some of the vendors that I deal with and do reviews for, some companies have already started carrying it. Other people haven't, but it's just kind of something to keep an eye out for, guys, because they are fairly popular and very well easy to use. Now it's going to be a quick review, guys. It's basically going to be done on a mechanical mod, and I'm just going to break it down for you in its parts and pieces to kind of show you what it's all about. For the most part, I'm not going to break it right down, just because I really don't feel like doing that. And another thing too, guys, batteries when it comes to mechanical mods. For the last while, I've been using the IMR AWs, which are fantastic batteries. They're rated at 10 amps continuous discharge. For the most part, because of the fact that I've got into using a lot of RDAs, RBDAs, I guess, rebuildable dripping atomizers, RDAs, I've been experimenting with sub-ohm building for the main reason of I've been watching a lot of videos and was rather curious on how well it performed, but taking all caution. You always want to use an ohms calculator. You always want to measure the resistance of your coils when you're doing builds like that. But that's neither here nor there, guys. I'm not really here to talk about batteries and stuff like that. I'm going to do a review on them. But these Sony's 1600 milliamp hour, which doesn't seem like a lot of life in a battery, excuse me, but 30 amps. 30 amps continuous discharge. So you could build literally down to like a 3 ohm coil or a 0.3 ohm coil with no issues for the most part. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much what I've been using. I picked mine up off eBay. I think I got 4 of them for like $35 or something like that. I know there's some China suppliers that are carrying them. Whether or not they're actual real Sony batteries, I don't know. But I know the ones that I got off eBay are authentic. Because of the fact that they are, and you cannot see that at all. Let's see if I can get that to focus a bit. There. So this is basically what you want to look for, guys. The SE US 18650. VTC3. I'm not sure what the number is at the bottom, but you also want to make sure it has the IR stamp on it, or the RI stamp on it. But keep in mind, guys, these are the 1600 milliamp hour batteries, okay? Don't be buying the 2200 milliamp hour batteries because they are not the same at all. They're not rated for the same amount of discharge. They're only rated for like I think 10 amps or 5 amps or something like that. Anything above the 1600 amp or 1600 milliamp hour, they're not the 30 amp hour, the 30 amp discharge. So basically, guys, sorry about the little rant there. We're looking at the Sentinel clone. This is basically one version of it. It is the brass version. As you can tell, it tarnishes like crazy, and it looks beautiful. I'm not going to polish this up because I like the way it looks right now. But you can actually polish this mod. When I originally got it, it was you can't really see that, but it was nice and shiny like the inside, pretty much. Outside, not so shiny, which is good in my liking. So basically, it is a telescoping mod. So you have your two outer tubes, your telescope tube, your switch, which is made of brass, unfortunately, and I'll tell you why later, and of course your floating center pin. Now this is an actual floating center pin, so it does adjust with your device. So the device that I'm going to use, of course, is the Trident. Phenomenal rebuildable atomizer, guys. I'm going to do a review on that as well. It'll probably be the next review that I do, but just kind of assembling the top cap. Now, one thing to keep in mind, guys, there is no airflow connection for your carto tanks. Genesis style RBAs or RDAs, sorry, will have absolutely no issues whatsoever. But a lot of your carto tanks that require airflow, where'd it go? From the actual device, you're going to have, or from the actual connection, you're going to have an issue. It's going to basically turn your cartomizer into a juice straw, which I almost just did. So there are no slots cut around the outside. That has got to be the worst. Something wrong with my camera. I think I dropped it and it's completely out of focus. Completely out of focus. Anyway, as you can tell, there's no slots there. For some ungodly known reason, there's actual slots around the outside of the 510 connection. But if you flush mount a carto tank on there, you're not going to have any airflow at all. It's just going to block it off completely. So basically, you thread your tube in. Then you can thread your second bottom tube in. Buttery smooth. Buttery smooth. Just phenomenal threading on everything. Top cap. Very little noise. Just a well-built clone, I guess. I can't say it's a one of, but by any means, because there's like 13,000 different versions of the quote-unquote Sentinel mod. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. But basically, all you're going to do is screw your switch in, and then make your adjustments accordingly. Make it all nice and even, and just snug it up, guys. You don't have to go overly crazy with it. It does have a bottom locking ring on it. Buttery smooth. Very nice. Easy to lock, easy to unlock. I think I got this one. I didn't go crazy on this one. I think this is like a 0.6. having some issues with one of my tridents, and the center pin keeps popping in on it for some reason. So, of course you can't read that really. It is reading 0.6. I wonder if I take the auto exposure off. Will make this any better? That's better. Hey, check that out. 0.6. Holy shit, you can see that. Sorry about the fuzziness of the video, guys, but I think my camera's gone wonky. Anyway, 0.6 ohm. You already saw the Sony battery that I put into it, so you know 30 amps is more than enough to be able to run this bad boy. What's in this? I'm vaping on some Flavor Crafters. Coconut cream pie. Yes, of course, it is a higher VG juice, so the clouds of vapor that you're seeing is helped with the VG, of course. Just so you guys can see my pretty face. Just so you know, my laptop's over there, that's why I keep looking in that direction. But just to kind of show you how well Sentinel, Trident, 0.6 ohm coil, Sony, 30 amp battery, performing fantastic. Phenomenal vape, guys. One thing you have to keep in mind while vaping, wow, I'm close. When vaping RDAs, low ohms, wide open holes, just doing great big lung hits, you gotta drop your nicotine down, dude. You gotta drop it down, because if you were to do like a 12 or an 18 milligram like you normally would on a carto tank or a cartomizer or a regular atomizer, you're just vaping away, you're fine with it. You take that same stuff and drop it into one of these, the nicotine will just knock you on your ass. Now, the only downfall that I have found, sort of with this, it's not really a downfall per se, it was kind of my own fault. I dropped this on the switch, and basically what has happened is, we'll go back down here and I'll show you. It doesn't sit straight anymore. Basically what happened was when I dropped it, it now sits on an angle. When I dropped it, it bent the actual bottom tab of the switch, so it always sits on an angle, unless of course I unscrew the locking cap, and then it'll sit straight, but it still has a bit of a wobble, as you can see. But I haven't had any problems with it firing. The other thing, guys, the switch, you can actually take it apart and take the center contact out that you can see there. It basically just spins off, the bottom pulls out, there's a spring in there, then you can pull the locking ring off as well. Other than that, guys, this is the brass version. The reason why I got it, A, is, well, it was sent to me. They had asked actually if I wanted it in stainless steel. I said no. I wanted something that would look kind of rustic. I like kind of the rustic look. It kind of appeals to me, I guess. But yeah, guys, that's the only downfall. And you know, common sense, brass, it's a soft metal to begin with. So when you start dropping shit, it's gonna start bending or dinging. Um, yeah, you're not even gonna be able to see it, but there's a couple ding marks in the bottom where it had fallen and made the tab bend over. Yeah, not a good comment to make. Anyway, so yeah, guys, Sentinel clone. I got this from a China supplier, which I can't mention their name because they are an actual manufacturer, so you can't really order from them unless you are a vendor. Yeah, guys, hopefully some Canadian, actually there are a few Canadian vendors that are carrying the stainless steel version of this. I don't have it to do a comparison between the two of them, yeah, this is what I have to review on. Performs outstanding, never had a misfire with it, and it works really well. What the conductivity is on it, I don't know, and I don't really care. I know that it performs well, in my opinion, and yeah. So that's all I got for you today, guys. So as always, let's keep on vaping.